Okay, what's up guys? So today I wanted to talk about something that seems kind of like a general topic that leads into a lot of other things. It's kind of like a baseline. So what makes you a good player in Smash Bros. Ultimate? There's a lot of things that go into this, and they take a lot of time to learn and master. And so I'm just gonna start counting down. So the first thing is basic fundamentals. So basic fundamentals are probably the most important thing that you can learn to base your playstyle off of. Now, fundamentals, in my opinion, fundamentals are playing a reactionary playstyle, and that includes, just looking at what the opponent is doing and then reacting to it and using the most optimal option to punish them accordingly. That also means that playing a reactionary playstyle could include whiff punishing to some extent. That's why people who play reactionary playstyles or play with fundamentals tend to be able to defeat or beat mashers in general, and they tend to be able to beat mashers because they're whiff punishing, and mashers tend to mash a lot, right? And they're whiffing a lot of attacks. And there's a lot of ways to learn how to whiff punish. So whiff punishing is one of like the most basic fundamentals in my opinion, because it's the first thing that you really learn how to do. And a lot of people just bait, and then they bait a whiff, and then they just punish it. Most basic way to do this is by spot dodge down smash. That's the most basic example I can give of it. But usually what whiff punishing at higher level play is usually just dash dancing. But then, in higher level play, you don't really whiff as much because your moves are much more calculated. So the higher level you get, the less you'll be able to whiff punish, because the less people will be mashing, if that makes sense. So, that's pretty much whiff punishing. Very simple. And so reactionary playstyle. So you can play a reactionary playstyle in a lot of ways. Online, it's very hard to play a reactionary playstyle, and I understand that, but I do think that playing a reactionary playstyle is much more rewarding, and it just feels better. It feels like you're having more fun playing the game when you're playing a reactionary playstyle rather than just throwing out moves and hoping you hit them. And then mashers tend to also get very upset at the game when their mashing doesn't work out for them because they can't outplay their opponent. You know what I mean? They're just pressing buttons, so then they're getting angry at the fact that they can't beat the other person no matter how hard they try. But a person who's playing with fundamentals rather than by just pressing buttons, they're able to adapt to their opponent, and that's actually the next thing, adaptation. And they're able to read them and do things like that. So eventually a person playing with fundamentals would be able to beat a person who's mashing wouldn't be able to. I feel like I just confused a lot of people there. I don't know. Okay. So adaptation. So adaptation is the ability to take what is given to you. They take the new information that this person has given you and turn it to your advantage. This could be tactics, like for example mashing, because this also covers mashing. If the other person is, for example, let's say they keep naring on your shield, they land in front of you, and then they F smash. They do that every time. What a person who's adapting would do is they would try to punish the landing F smash, or with anything pretty much. But a person who's not adapting, like, okay, for example, let's say you grabbed the first time, right? And the person is spacing out the nair, and then they're moving back after it, and then they're F smashing. So they're basically baiting the grab, and then you grab and then you get killed. This happens a lot with like Inkling. Like she'll do like a back air on your shield, and then she'll roller, trying to bait out your grab. This happens a lot with Wi-Fi Inklings. This doesn't happen much offline. But so that's just a visual to give you. And then a person who's not adapting would just keep grabbing. He would just continually keep trying to grab. And a person who is adapting would, they would jab, they would down B, they would basically figure out a way to punish it. Any creative way you can think of to punish that move. And that's something that you can do pretty easily. You just need to think a little bit outside the box. So looking at the game objectively and seeing where you're messing up, and then being able to adapt mid game. Now that comes with practice, and that comes with playing the game a lot and stuff like that. So I mean obviously if you don't know it yet, then it'll take a bit, but it's a decently easy concept to grasp once you've gotten it. As long as you know that it's a thing, then you'll definitely be able to pull it off. Okay. Reading. So reading is one of the first things that people tend to learn, because reading it's like what everybody tells you to do. Like, reading is also included in adaptation, because you're trying to look at your opponent's habits, and then you're punishing those. That's basically what reading is, which you probably already know. But what reading ultimately comes down to is pattern detection. You need to be able to look at what they're doing as a pattern, because anyone could see someone neutral get up and then be like, oh, they're gonna neutral get up every time. So then they just keep trying to catch neutral get up, but they're mixing up their options, so then they're not catching them at ledge, right? Like, for example, maybe they roll, maybe they jump, maybe they neutral get up again, I don't know. But if you are continually trying to catch neutral get up because they neutral get up to once, then you're not actually adapting or reading them. You're just catching neutral get up based on a very, very elementary level of adaptation and reading. So what a normal player would do is, okay, so they neutral get up. I caught their neutral get up. I sent them back off stage, right? Maybe you grabbed them and threw them back off stage. And now they're coming back. Okay, what are they going to do now? Let me react. So first comes reacting. You need to react to what they're doing. Even if it's online, you need to react, because you have no clue what they're going to go for. Or, I mean, if you're playing like a character like Mewtwo, then you could like stand at roll distance, throw your shadow ball, and then, make a read, like a blind read or something like that, because Mewtwo and projectile characters tend to have that. Or maybe DDD Gordo is really good for that. But yeah, but if you're playing a character like Meta Knight, then you have to react first. You have to react to what their option is. Say you catch their neutral get up by reacting. Okay, so now you need to see which option they're going to do. You need to react to that option as well. Okay, so say they jump. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to try to catch that jump. If you don't catch it, that's okay. You throw them back off stage eventually, right? And when you're ledge trapping, then chances are they're going to neutral get up, you send them back off stage, and then they're going to jump again, because that's just how our brains work. We try to mix up in a very specific pattern. Now, this usually happens at mid-level play. At high-level play, you need to work on other kinds of adaptation, but this is like a basic level of adaptation and reading at the ledge and stuff like that. So, that's something that you could try to do. Another thing is when it gets to high level play, you'll see even mid level play at this as well. For example, you'll see like a Palutena getting off ledge, jumping, side being. You'll see stuff like that. Like they're just trying to use creative ways to get you to stop ledge trapping them. Okay, so that's reading, stuff like that. Other fundamentals are like, let's just go over some basic ones like tech chasing, ledge trapping, which I already went over. Being able to juggle your opponent. This means when they're in the air, you're able to just keep them in the air for as long as possible. Obviously comboing is included in that, but that's obvious. And edgeguarding is also there. I probably missed a lot, but these 5 things are the first things that come to mind when I think of a good player. Because these 5 things tend to define your fundamentals, and other things come afterwards. So if you master these things that I just listed off, in this video, then you're gonna be a good player. You're gonna be able to really, you know, get places in this game. And it all starts there. But you probably already know like a basic level of reading and basic level of like all these things. But the point is to sharpen those skills. Like, for example, in reading, a lot of people, what they'll do is they think that they're reading their opponent, but they're actually not. They'll just throw out an F smash and be like, okay, let's go. I hit my F smash. That means I read him. Because they rolled in. But in reality, the other person just rolled in. Maybe it was a buffered input, or, you know, sometimes it's just there's no backing to your claim, because it has to be a hypothesis. You know what I mean? It has to be like you have a theory, and then you try to put that theory into effect, and then if that theory turns out to be correct, then your hypothesis was correct. That's what reading is. And if you're just getting straight to the, you know, the part where you do the experiment, then that's not doing the whole hypothesis. You need to start with a theory. You need to make you know, a theory and think, okay, so he rolled behind me when I did down tilt on his shield, so now I'm gonna F smash him. But you know, if he doesn't roll in, and when you down tilt his shield, then you can't just go back there and F smash, because it's not gonna work, right? But that was some, like, I feel like it was a pretty basic level of what defines a good player. I probably missed a lot. If I missed something, please put it in the comments. And you know, any questions about this, also in the comments. And my Discord is open, so you can, you know, talk to me there if you wanted to talk about, you know, just growing as a player and wanted to play me in general. But I'll see everybody later. Thank you very much for watching.